Bill Belichick has once again publicly commented about the soft comments Jerod Mayo publicly made about his team Sunday and then doubled down Monday. Tom Brady chimed in.
Yeah.
And while we're going to take a look at what the future of Jerod Mayo looks like in New England, new reports have come out that they were second-guessing going back to this past summer.
Uh-oh.
And if the trend begins the way it does, heads may roll in New England. And we'll go through some trade them, buy or sell situations with the Patriots and around the NFL, all that and more right here on Foxborough Rush. T, I know you're excited for this combo, man.
I am, man, but I got to tell you, like, it's just kicking a man when he's down. There's a lot of that going on, George. I know we're going to get into it, but damn, times are hard, and you know things are going left when people start saying, yeah, what was he talking about doing that? And, man, this team, I mean, I feel bad for these guys. I'm like, oh, man, this is kicking a brother when he's down right here, George.
You know what this is? No matter how young, how old, how rich, how poor.
Preach.
If you're famous, if you're just getting by, if you're a GOAT, no one's above being petty. And that's what we've seen.
Facts.
So to catch people up very quickly, Sunday, after the loss 32-16, Jerod Mayo said, we are a soft team across the board. Monday morning, when asked about that, he said, we are playing soft. Let me correct it.
Yeah, let me walk that back.
Then Monday, Bill Belichick named players, name by name, that he drafted and signed on that defense and said, well, they were the best rush defense in the NFL. They're not soft. Then again, Bill Belichick on the Let's Go podcast with Tom Brady and Jim Gray double down, triple down on that. They're not a soft team. Soft is coaching. Talking about him taking accountability. Then Tom Brady came out and said, tough teams run the ball. They stop the run.
Facts.
They cover special teams. And Tom Brady pointed out he learned this from Bill Belichick. What do you make of this now in these words that we see where Bill Belichick is calling out the head coach of the New England Patriots, subliminal or not? It's really not that subliminal. And now Tom Brady is also calling it out where, if you're soft, that's not a trait. That's on coaching. And he's making sure to point out, the GOAT, the GOAT. I learned from Bill Belichick, who, by the way, was your head coach last season. Soft, it's statistics.
Listen, I think it illustrates how bad of a job Jerod Mayo's doing because, you know, Belichick, I sort of get a little bit more par for the course. And you and I have talked about this. He's still hurt by the way it ended here. And so I sort of get him, defending these players who he drafted and all that. And him saying, oh, this is the same team I had. Well, no, it's not. But I get it. And I said this phrase to you that hurt people hurt people. And so, what I mean by that is Bill didn't like the way it ended here. And I know Robert Kraft tried to control the narrative. But I remember that press conference, you and I doing a show afterwards and being like, it was so obvious that Bill was uncomfortable and just didn't like this, didn't like it. He went along with it. But you could sense it. Everyone could that Bill was not, obviously, who would be happy to get fired, right? And it wasn't mutual either, and we all know it. So Bill, at least I get, because there's some feelings there. There's some bad blood there to a certain extent. The Tom thing was a little bit surprising to me because I know, obviously a teammate of Jerod Mayo. I'm sure all these guys are tight. And Tom usually takes the high road. When you talked about being petty there, we've seen Tom be petty more so to Bill. But when it comes to the Patriots, he is very protective, usually takes a high road, kind of gives you a political answer. I'm rooting for them. I'll always be a Patriot, and times are tough. You would almost expect that from Tom. So for him to kind of go in here on Jerod Mayo as well, that part spoke to me more than Belichick. Belichick's coming from a place of hurt. I think Tom's coming from a place of honesty. And I think it just really further illustrates how bad of a job Jerod Mayo is doing for the great Tom Brady to come out and speak out against him, a former teammate, a franchise he loves and adores. And you can't pay him to say a bad word about the Patriots or Robert Kraft, right? And so now for him to kind of go down this road of, I just think I think you can't hide it. I think Jerod Mayo is doing that bad of a job, and we all can see it. This team is regressing every week. And I keep saying this.
Every week.
You know, none of us thought they were going to win a ton of games. It's not even about wins and losses for Jerod Mayo. And that's what I keep hearing. People are saying, Trav, they're not going to fire him because, you know, he wasn't expected to win a ton of games. It's not even about that. There's certain ways you win and you lose in this league. We always hear that phrase, style points, get thrown around. Usually it's for wins, right? Mm-hmm. I think there's style points for losing too. Yes. Like if you're losing by a field goal here or there every week, okay, we're a player away, or maybe it is coaching. He's got to get a little bit better at managing the clock or whatever it is. But every week, I mean, your special teams gets worse. Your defense gets worse. Your offense improved because you got a real kid now playing quarterback. But even with that, if I'm the Patriots, I have to protect that investment too. And it damn sure ain't this coaching staff to develop Drake May. And it damn sure, I mean, hey, Elliott Wolf's draft class outside of Drake May does not look good. So it could be like, I don't even want this guy in charge of building around my star quarterback. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, and I've been on this, I don't think Mayo's going to be here. I don't. And I don't think that staff is, and I don't believe Elliott Wolf is either. I think they're going to clean house after this season. And Tom Brady and Bill Belichick loading up now, George, and taking shots does not help the case for Mayo to stick around.
Here's the thing, Trev. Bill Belichick coming out and naming players he drafted and signed and said by name,
yes,
they're not soft.
Yes.
Last year, they were the top run defense in the NFL. This year, they're bottom 10. What changed? I'm not there.
That's right.
The players hear that and they go, that's my guy, Bill. And Bill Belichick's taken the high road. But keep this in mind. Mm-hmm. Bill Belichick was fired. Whatever Robert Kraft wanted to say at that press conference, the mutual parting of ways was always BFNS.
That's right.
Robert Kraft tries to make everything sunshines, rainbows, and butterflies because he wants his world to be perfect, and it's not. Mm-hmm. He fired Bill Belichick, and Belichick took the high road to say, fine, I'll let you go, mutual parting of ways. The second Robert Kraft came out publicly and said, I hated to fire him. I tried to do it in a classy way. Bill Belichick said, sleeves are rolled up.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep.
I'm going to name the defense. I'm going to name the guys you still have on your roster. And I'm going to say, this is the same defense, but they suck now because I'm not there. Mm-hmm. Then, for Tom Brady, Devin McCourty, and Ty Law to come out and talk about these soft comments, that tells me they're coming from the player's perspective where they go, oh, hell no. McCourty and Ty Law, they want accountability from Jerod Mayo, and they haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady is saying, the GOAT taught me that toughness isn't a trait, it is a stat, and you can avoid it.
Yep.
That's what they're coming out and saying. Right now, Bill Belichick is saying, I'm done with the high road. I'm done being nice to Robert Kraft. I'm going to be petty. I'm going to take my shots. And I don't care because you wanted me gone. You wanted the GOAT gone. He's done playing nice. Once Robert Kraft said, well, I fired Bill, everything was off. And you know what the most damning thing is, Travis? Drake May has thrown for over 500 yards his first 2 starts in the NFL. 5 touchdowns and looked better from start 1 to start 2. The Patriots hit a home run with the quarterback they drafted at a top 3 pick. No one's talking about it. Everyone's saying, are the Patriots soft? Why is Jerod Mayo the head coach? That's what everyone's talking about. That's what gets me in all of this. Belichick saying things like, I always felt that when the team played bad, that was my responsibility. And then Belichick saying, you don't call out the players like that. It's not going to sit well in the locker room. He's saying, this is what I did as a head coach. It's what I did for over 20 years. Look how everything was. Same defense, wasn't soft, showing up, stopping the run. He was saying everything he would do. Then you have the biggest name in the history of football, the biggest star of your franchise ever, and 2 other guys that are red jacket wearing, absolute stud players for the Patriots, Super Bowl winning New England Patriots, calling out the now head coach. Brady and McCourty played with Jerod Mayo. And they're calling him out. What are you doing? What are you doing? They're looking for accountability. Because when you publicly go out and saying, we're soft across the board, we're playing soft, publicly, you could say that behind closed doors. Publicly, they're going, oh, hell no.
That's right.
That does not sit well with us.
That's right.
So everyone has to remember that. Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, it wasn't a mutual parting of ways.
No.
Bill Belichick was fired, but he was willing to wear it and say, fine, you can say mutual Robert Kraft. You can say whatever you want.
He played the game.
I'll go with it.
Yep.
Exactly. I'll play the game. Bill Belichick didn't want to go. He played his game in the media saying he had years left, money left on his contract.
Yep.
Bill Belichick saying, I always felt it was my responsibility if the team played soft. He's very structured. He's very calculated with everything he's putting out there on all these platforms. Because right now, he's taking shots at Jerod Mayo. More importantly, he's taking shots at Robert Kraft. And you know the owner that cares about optics more than anything? RKK. First time I'll ever call him that. Is Robert Kraft. Bill knows what he's doing. He was pushed out. He was fired. And keep in mind, Bill Belichick, the GM, was the reason Bill Belichick, the head coach, got fired.
Yep.
The one thing I want to say, though, when Bill Belichick goes through and names all these guys, right? And he says, I think when you criticize the team publicly, it doesn't always go over well. Ultimately, I always felt that when the team played bad, that was my responsibility. Bill Belichick named the Marte Mapus, the Christian Gonzalez's, the Anthony Jennings, the guys that he signed, he traded for. He drafted the Kyle Duggars. All right, well, let's look at the 2022 first-round pick, Cole Strange, who you didn't need to draft if you didn't trade away Shaq Mason, and Cole Strange's been nothing but injured. 2023, 3 of your top 150 picks were interior offensive linemen. Antonio Mafi, he was cut. Jake Andrews, he's been injured and not playing.
Right.
Then City So, he's been benched. A soft team can't stop the run. A soft team can't run the ball.
Yep.
They can't run the ball. Is that on you too, Bill? So I see what Bill Belichick is doing. And I see what Tom Brady, Devin McCourty, and Ty Law are doing. And that jumps out to me more. But Bill Belichick will get petty. He'll get dirty through the media. And he'll craft the truth how he wants it to be. Hey, look at how bad this defense was. It wasn't that way when I was here. They can't stop the run because it's on Jerod Mayo. Why can't they run the ball? It does come down to personnel and players on the field.
Yeah.
But Bill Belichick won't bring that up.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back to, let's go back to the soft comments. This is just such a rookie head coach mistake. Like, and by the way, one in a long line from Jerod Mayo that he's made. But the soft comments, if you make them, you got to go all the way. Yeah, you got to make those comments and then stand on business by making them. You have to double down when asked about it later. Hey, you called your team soft after the game. You want to clarify. What did you mean by that? And then you just go right back at it. And you say, yeah, I did call him soft because X, Y, and Z. I'm holding myself accountable and my staff because of X, Y, and Z. We must get better.
Yeah.
I played this game. You almost like you kind of throw your credentials out there. I played this game. I was known for this. I was a quarterback of the defense. I know soft when I see it. We're playing like that. We need to get it together. Okay, stand on business. And then all of a sudden, all these legends coming out now. Now, Bill's probably going to say what Bill's going to say. But I don't believe McCourty and Ty Law and Brady and all these guys get involved if Mayo stands by it. But what happens? You make the soft comment and you didn't really mean it. And you certainly didn't light a fire under your team, which is always the intention when you do something like that. So that tells me you weren't strategic, George. You were emotional. You were a player, right?
Yeah.
You were caught up in the loss, and you just said what was on your heart. Well, that was a mistake. And so just like a player would have to walk it back or apologize or something, Jerod Mayo had to do that. Here's another thing I want to point out. I don't think Robert Kraft, who clearly loves Jerod Mayo, I don't think he's doing him any favors in terms of his growth as a head coach. And here's what I mean by this. First of all, he wasn't qualified for the gig. And Lord knows we went back and forth on this because you wanted Vrabel, and there were other candidates out there to be had who had practical experience. You go with Jerod Mayo, okay, fine. But he's not set up to be successful. Like, if you're giving a guy his first head coaching job, try to set him up for success. So you give him a total gut job, renovation, rebuild, right?
Yeah.
So you're destined to fail even if you're a freaking experienced coach. So you give that to Jerod Mayo. He's stumbling and bumbling all over himself, trying to learn on the job here, right? At every place you turn, he's messing up, okay?
Yeah.
Here's the issue. No one in this league, no team, none of the other teams outside of New England was checking for Jerod Mayo as a damn head coach. None of them. Now,
hey, he had interviews in the past. He did. Going back, Denver Broncos flew him out, interviewed him.
He has been on
that list.
If he doesn't get this job,
but he has been on that list.
Stay with me.
Yeah. You know who hires him? A Carolina Panthers, right?
Yeah, and I bet it's not to be a head coach.
I
don't care about
Commanders.
You and I have talked about that damn Rooney rule on this show a million times. Yeah. Don't give me he got an interview. Jerod Mayo's not getting a head coaching job outside of New England before this job. So my point is this. You set him up for failure. He's stumbling and bumbling all over himself since getting the gig. You are hindering him from getting another opportunity because he's going to get fired. In this league, you're hired to get fired any damn way. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, clock's always ticking.
Right? So let's, for the sake of the convo with you and I, say that he gets fired after this season. Just like I believe no team was interested in hiring him as a head coach. You can bring him in and dog and pony show him all day for a Rooney Rule interview. I'm talking about real hiring. No team was looking to do that outside of New England as far as I'm concerned. And now you're damn sure ain't going to get a head coaching job anywhere outside of New England after this mess is over. So what really did you do to help the guy out? You didn't put him in position in terms of the roster. You didn't give him a veteran coaching staff around him. You gave him rookies.
Or invest in the coaching staff.
You didn't invest in anything. So you handed him this mess.
Yeah.
I'm not letting him off the hook. These are facts. You hand him this mess. It's a mess. And now what do you think's going to happen to Jerod Mayo in his future? I mean, he's going to have to literally go to the bottom of the barrel and start over again.